Welcome to my SteamPunk Arena gameplay video. SteamPunk Arena is an exciting new turn-based strategy game in a fresh new setting with lots of potential for expansion. While there is tons of replayability to be had, each player begins the game with an equal amount of units and an equal amount of land tile. From there, the players are on their own, cultivating new stories while pursuing new adventures, in an attempt to improve their strategic advantage over the opposing team. The game ends when one team forfeits or there are no other units left on the baseboard. In this video, I'm going to cover what every piece does, how to set up the game, how to play, and of course, how to win. How it works. Let's start with the game boards. Oceanic hexagonal maps where your game will take place. Every player gets one. The dark ocean in between the game boards is considered a no base, no fortress zone. Next, we have the base boards. These represent a faction-specific base on which all of your air, land, and sea units are placed on at the beginning of each game. Unit pieces can only deploy or recall once per turn. Units cannot be deployed or recalled during another player's turn. Now we have the base tile, a physical representation of your baseboard on the game board. Base tiles can only be placed on water tiles, but they can act as a canal or a bridge and can help you connect to land resources. Units stopping their turn on the base can either enter the base or protect the base tile. An opposing player cannot pass over or stop on your base tile. Unit pieces come in three theaters: air, land, and sea. Land units can only traverse over land tiles and bridges. Sea units can only navigate through water tiles or under bridges. And air units can fly over both land and sea. You may stack your own units and pass over other players. But you may not end your turn stacked on another player's unit, fortress, or base tile. Units and fortresses are all governed by the same attributes. The population point is the number that's represented in the center of the unit or the fortress. When a unit or fortress is attacked, this number is eventually reduced to 0. A unit can be repaired when returned to base. A fortress, however, cannot for obvious reasons. It can't return to base. When your unit or fortress falls in battle, flip and place the piece face down on the baseboard. Don't forget to remove any bonuses or hero attached to that unit from the game. We'll get into those bonuses and heroes in a moment. Action points govern everything from turning and movement to attacking and performing the unit's special ability. Attacking is an action that will end the turn, whereas a special ability will not end the unit turn unless otherwise mentioned. Attack points govern how many dice you are allowed to roll, while defense points reflect the number a single attack dice must roll above in order to hit a target and inflict damage to the population points. Range governs how far away a unit can attack, and where movement direction is represented by gear nubs on the outside of the unit, attack direction is represented by these three dots, indicating which direction the unit can attack in or activate a special ability. There are 4 types of unique units and they all perform special abilities. Those unique types are known as the Discovery units, the Bridge units, Transport units, and Capture units. Discovery units such as the Clockwork Golems, Biplanes, or Frigates can spend 1 action point to reveal a land tile. This does not end the turn. Bridge units can be used to either build or destroy a bridge. A bridge builder can either spend 1 action point to build a bridge or 2 action points to build a reinforced bridge. This action does not end the turn. The seafaring submarines or the high-flying bombers are the only units capable of blowing up bridges. This type of special ability will require an attack and therefore will end the unit turn. Transport units such as the truck convoy, helicopters, or cargo ships can spend 1 action point to pick up or drop off a unit, deploy a fortress, or pick up a unit bonus. They can't pick up more than 1 unit, fortress, or bonus at a time. Capture units like steam tanks, airships, or ironclads can help replace a unit you had previously lost by capturing a unit destroyed on your side. Capture the opponent's unit piece and reintroduce your repair piece to the baseboard. A piece can only be captured once. This special ability requires an attack and will also require that your capture unit be the unit that removes the opposing unit piece from the game board. There are 3 fortresses per faction: air, land, and sea. It is considered a stationary, non-moving piece that requires a transport unit to deploy. There is only 1 allowed in play at one time per side, and you cannot deploy a fortress on yours or your opponent's base. While you cannot place within 5 hexes an opponent's base or another fortress, you can, however, place your fortress on your opponent's game board. Theater specific, you can also use a fortress to deploy and recall units of the same theater of war. A fortress can only be constructed on a water tile, but much like a base tile, can act as a canal or a bridge. Opposite to the base, units that stop on the fortress piece are protected by the fortress. Fortresses are also not affected by the hero, resource, or unit bonuses. Once a fortress is deployed, it cannot be redeployed. Opponents cannot pass over or stop on your fortress, and a fortress cannot be captured. Land tiles include 18 blanks, 5 unit bonus, 5 resource bonus, and 5 disaster tiles, for a total of 33 land tiles. At the start of any game, you will place 14 shuffled land tiles face down on your game board. These land tiles, once again, can only be flipped and revealed by discovery unit. Resource bonuses give positive +1 modifiers to population, action, attack, and defense and range. They are easily identified by the purple text. Connect resources to your base using your land tiles, base, fortresses, and bridges. Once connected, all of your units will benefit from the resource at the start of the next player turn. If an opponent's base is connected to the same resource by a fortress, bridge, or land, then neither player benefits at the start of the next player turn. Resource bonuses can stack with unit bonuses, which brings us to our next land tile. The unit bonus. Identified by its orange text, this bonus could be considered an individual unit upgrade that requires a base mechanic to install or remove. Once revealed, you may pick up these bonuses and bring them back to your base using a transport unit. When you pick up the unit bonus, replace the tile with another land tile face down. Once the unit bonus is brought back to the base, you can then apply that bonus to a unit piece that is in the base. Unit bonuses cannot be stacked or changed out on the game map. When a bonus is lost, it is lost forever. When a disaster is discovered or revealed, the player finishes the unit turn by spending the remainder of the unit's action points. The player whose game board the disaster occurred on rolls a 6-sided dice. The number rolled reflects the unit population point. Remove a unit or a fortress piece of your choice from the base board based on that number. If you roll a number and there is no units that represent that number, no unit is removed from the base. The hero cards represent the faction heroes of the 3 theaters of war: air, land, and sea. Each hero card coincides with a hero piece, which you will use to give a +1 modifier to a theater or a specific unit. If a hero dies in a battle on board a unit, the game continues but no more bonuses are provided. A hero can only embark with a unit from a base or a fortress, and a hero cannot transfer to another unit while on the game board. When a unit or a fortress takes damages to its population points, you will need the damage counters to reflect this. You will have 8 bridge pieces per side. Spend 1 action point to build a bridge, spend 2 to build a reinforced bridge. Only built by the bridge builders. Bridge tiles connect base tiles to resource tiles and provide land units with the ability to move towards your opponent's base. If a bridge is destroyed with a land unit on top of the bridge or a sea unit below the bridge, the unit is destroyed along with that bridge. Last but not least, we have the 6-sided dice. 5 dice used to calculate damage. Getting started. Place the game board down so that the deep blue ocean buffers butt up against each other. Pick a faction. Place your faction's specific base board at the end of your game board. Place all your units on this board and you're good to go. You should also have 8 bridges, 5 damage counters, 3 faction-specific hero cards, hero pieces, and a base tile to go along with that. Shuffle your 3 faction-specific cards face down. Select one of the 3 cards and reveal it. This card becomes your hero, represented by the hero tile. Place the hero tile on its correct place on the base board and set aside the other 2 cards. You are now ready to place down your land tiles. Roll a dice to see who goes first. The highest roll wins and decides on whether to place the base and land tiles first or not. The base, much like a fortress, cannot be placed in the deep blue ocean buffer on the game board. Place all the land, resource, unit bonus, and disaster tiles in the box face down. Shuffle well, careful not to expose those land tiles. Each player then takes a turn placing 14 land tiles, however they wish, on their side of the game board. You can place land tile in the deep blue ocean buffer, even on a hexagon bordering your opponent's game board. The first person who lays down their base and their land tiles is the first person who takes a turn after the second player places his base and his land tiles. You are now ready to play. Gameplay. This is a turn-based strategy game. The player turn consists of deploying and recalling only 1 unit at a time while using action points of all the active units on the game boards within that turn. Spending action points allows the individual unit to move 1 hexagon, turn 1 side, attack 1 unit, or perform a special ability. You can choose not to spend any action points. Alternatively, if you attack, the unit's turn will end after the attack is performed. Your turn ends when you can no longer spend any more action points, or you, the player, declare the turn over. Units and fortresses have population points visually represented in the middle of the unit piece. The player cannot have more than 10 active population points in play at any given time unless affected by a resource or unit bonus. If a bonus is taken away while the player has more than 10 active population points on the game board, the player keeps the surplus. Fortresses do not count towards active population points. To place a fortress out in play, first deploy and place a transport unit on the base. End the turn. On the next turn, load the transport unit with the fortress. Once the fortress is deployed, you must wait one turn before it can attack. A transported unit can move and attack as soon as it's deployed. To reiterate, damage or destroy another unit by facing the correct attack direction, being within range, and by rolling a number of dice found in the attack point circle and hitting above the number found in the defense point circle. And once again, the only units in the game that can reveal tiles are the discovery units, the golems, the biplanes, and the frigates. Another reminder, the only units in the game that can build a bridge are the bridge builders. The only units in the game that can destroy bridges are the bombers or the submarines. They can do this by rolling their attack dice and hitting above the bridge defense number. Winning SteamPunk Arena. Attack the opposing player's base tile. Rather than rolling above a number, roll and total the amount. The opposing player then must remove the amount of population points until there are no points available on the base. Game over. Alternatively, play may continue until all population points on the baseboard and on the game board are destroyed. There are many rules, and if you do not understand one or two of them, send an email to steampunkarena@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video and enjoy the game.